Hi everyone, this is Gavin from Gavin's Gadgets. Hope you guys are keeping well. And today I'm going to be reviewing the iFi ZEN Air DAC. Now this is one device from the new ZEN Air series. I've also got the ZEN Air Blue review coming up in a few days time after this as well. So what I'm going to do is run through what's in the box, the key differences between this and the standard ZEN DAC version 2, and also then say, well, should you buy it? For those that don't know, the key differential, the key reason behind all this is the pricing. This is £99. So what have iFi Audio sacrificed, and does this sound as good even though it costs £99, and should you buy it? Let's first of all check the box. It basically says this is a high-res DAC, elevates the sound quality. You can use it as a headphone amp or as a pure DAC with an amp and speakers. Connects to multiple of devices, PC, Mac, smartphones. It's got power match and X-Base controls, which is quite remarkable. Some cables, I'll show what you get. And it shows you here that the output power is 280 milliwatts at 32 ohms, 36 milliwatts at 300 ohms, and there we go. So let's see what you actually get in the box. So in the box, you get this little sticker, which is quite nice, warranty card, quick start guide, which you have the device itself, which I'll put to one side. Accessory wise, you get the cable to connect into the back of it via a USB. You also have the power cable. So here you have the device. It's sort of a plastic effect, so the weight is kept right down, which I find good. So on the back you have the RCA outputs, digital input, and that's where you plug the power cable for external power. You have rubber feet on the bottom. You have, when this is powered on, the sample rate, audio format, power match button, which is nice clicky. You have here the volume knob, the analog volume knob, 6.3 headphone socket, and X-Base option as well. So you've seen what's inside the box, and as you can see here, this is the actual device itself. It's the same measurements as the standard ZEN DAC, but as you probably can tell from that quick unboxing, this is plastic. It does have this quite nice sort of perforated sort of feel to it, but there are quite a few differences. If you look at some of the differences on the back, you'll see that there's a USB socket. On this, the Air, it's USB 2. On the ZEN DAC version 2, it's USB 3. Now, I don't know if that make a difference to you. It shouldn't make too much of a difference, but it does have that difference in the USB socket. Also, you'll notice on the back, there's no balanced line out. This is a true single-ended device, so there's no balanced. And on the front, you'll notice that the headphone socket is only a 6.3 millimeter. There's no 4.4 balanced either. And talking about the 6.3 socket, you don't get with the Air this adapter, which allows you to plug 3.5 millimeter headphones in. So you will need that. I have tons of these, but if you haven't, you will need to allow, they're only a few quid, but that's something to bear in mind. The other, one of the other key differences, this does do MQA still, despite its price, but it's an MQA renderer, whereas the ZEN DAC version 2, the more expensive version, is also a renderer and decoder. It does the full MQA. So that's another bit. If you into MQA, personally I'm not, wouldn't make a scrap of difference to me, but if you are, because you use Tidal, that's something worth noting. However, there's a lot of similarities. They both use the same chipset. They both use the new XMOS 16 core. Also, you'll notice on the back, this doesn't have a fixed or stroke variable slider option. It is as it is. So if you do want to use this in a fixed output, you'll probably need to stick the volume up high and leave it there. Whereas you can do 2.1 volt fixed output on the standard Zen DAC version 2. What you will find the similarities, both these have the same cables in the box. Neither device comes with a power adapter itself. That's something you need to buy if you want to use it, because this will work straight off the USB. It is actually a good thing I found. I used the iPower X on my Zen DAC devices. It does help with the dynamics, that little bit extra, having that 5 volt power supply. So you can actually get one and plug it in yourself if you want. In terms of weight, this is really light. This weighs 315 grams, whereas the Zen DAC version 2, because of its metal build, is 800 grams. Vast difference. Also, the extra weight on that Zen DAC is also because of the balanced circuitry, adds more to the weight as well. But one thing that is very interesting is the power output. So obviously in this only puts out 280 milliwatts single-ended at 32 ohms. Now, the thing that's interesting is that the Zen DAC version 2 in single-ended puts out 230 ohms. So this has 50 milliwatt more power in single-ended. And the Zen DAC version 2, when it comes to the balanced, jumps up to 330 milliwatts at 32 ohms. Not a lot of difference, but obviously balanced does have the extra clarity, which I'll talk about when we get into the sound quality side of it. So I've gone through the key differences, which I think a lot of you were going to ask in the questions. There might be something I've missed that you specifically want to know. Don't feel shy, ask below, I'll do my best to answer. So, does this matter being plastic? No, I don't think it does. I think it's actually quite clever, with everything costing more at the moment, to have a range that's more budget orientated, I think is fantastic. So these are the audio soundtracks that I use for all my audio reviews. I use many others, but I always use these because then I've got a consistent record of what each track sounds with each different device. Now, I've tried a various range of headphones, from my AKG through to Hi-Fi Man, Arias, the Edition XS, my Shure 1540s, my Sennheiser HD600s, some iFi IEMs, just a whole range of different headphones to see how this performs. We'll start with easy to drive headphones. So actually, no problem, obviously. Drives them, plenty of power there to drive them. The harder to drive headphones like the Arias or any of the planar magnetic ones, yeah, again, I didn't have any issues driving those either. That was quite a surprise. Obviously, it does help having the power match, which you'll need to turn on. What I did like is that this has the X-Bass Plus system built in, and that works really well. Some of my AKG headphones in particular are quite anemic in the bass department, so having that option there does work well. So we'll talk more about the sound quality going through different aspects of some of the songs. So the first thing that I noticed when I put this in, I thought, well, this is going to be cheaper, it's not going to sound as good, and I was quite surprised. Instantly it's got that iFi audio warm sound from the Burr Brown chipset, absolutely on the money. Separation, good treble, clean treble, nice mids. And it didn't matter which headphone I used, it brought them all to life. And that was really good, really, really surprising. And also having the X-Bass, which I really enjoy having. I think that's so important, having that X-Bass, because some headphones are just absolutely lacking in that bass. Not everyone wants that. I've got to say that for some of the headphones, even my AKG, I know I joked about them being quite anemic, but on some of the classical stuff, it's all right not having all that extra bass sometimes. It's just actually quite nice. In terms of the musicality between this and the standard Zen DAC version 2, I did sort of some A/Bing on that, just trying to understand the differences. And really, when you jump into the balance mode and you're using your headphones in balanced, the signal to noise ratio or dynamic range is just that little bit better. There's extra nuances on the tracks. You can hear just a tiny bit more. But I've got to say the differences are quite small. Personally, I thought the differences were quite small. So this, you know, has that musicality tone. It sounds great, in my honest opinion. It sounds really nice. You've got decent punch in the bass, nice separation, nice reasonable sound stage, and I say it's fairly similar in sound quality to its bigger brother. But when you do have the bigger brother and you do use balanced headphones, you're getting probably, I don't know, 10-15%, maybe a bit more, but not much more, better leap in sound quality. But obviously it is better in that respect. And if you're into MQA, you've got the full decoder on the more expensive version, and you've got the better build, and you do have to pay for that finish. Having an all metallic enclosure that looks so much more expensive. But honestly, if you have this out in a room, people aren't going to go and tap it to see what it's made of. They're just going to see it and think, oh, that looks all right. And if there's nothing to compare it with, then who knows? So really, if you're starting out, I think this is a absolute wonderful piece of kit. I really like it. It did surprise me. I did think there'd be some drop in sound quality that'd be noticeable, and it's not as noticeable as you'd think. This is a great piece of kit, and it's nice to see that they've made some sacrifices in getting the price down. The build, obviously, I think is one of the key ones, and not having the balanced circuitry or that paying for the full MQA licensing by having the decoder stuff on there. But again, you know, you can decide if you need full MQA decoding or you can manage with an MQA renderer. Your call there. If you've got any other specific questions, I'll happily answer them. This is Gavin from Gavin's Gadgets. Take care, guys. Bye for now.